Hi everyone, this video is going to cover the head element in HTML. If you remember in the previous video, the head is one of the two main areas of your HTML document, with the other being the body. And the body is where all of your content in the browser window is going to display. The head, on the other hand, does not display in the browser window, but is instead used for information about the document. So the head is where you're going to put any kind of background information that doesn't need to be a part of the main body of the page. So there's a few major head elements you need to know, and we're going to start with the meta element. Meta element is used in several different ways. One of the major ones is to specify character encoding, and it's just kind of common to do meta cursive equals UTF-8, and that's Unicode text format 8-bit. Another really common one is name equals and content equals. And this one is mostly used for what is called a meta description. And this is the text that you see appear in a search engine result. You'll see the title of the site, and then you'll see some text below that. That is generally going to be the meta description specified in the head. Finally, another meta use is what's referred to as HTTP equiv. That's HTTP equivalent, and this is used for refreshes and redirects. This is not as common of a one, though, so these are the two that you generally are going to want to use. Meta will be the first thing that you put in your head, and generally you really need to have these two in there. You'll also notice that unlike other unary elements in the body, because it's a unary element in the head, you do not need the trailing slash, so it just looks like this right here. You'll also see occasionally meta robots or meta author, and these are other forms of metadata. You can also see meta keywords, but these are all not really necessary, and they don't really add much to your site unless you really know what you're doing. There's just not much of a reason to do those. But these two are kind of the ones that you need to know how to do. Next, we'll move on to link. And link is a really commonly used head tag that is used to specify external documents that are linked to this HTML document. So a good example here, and the most common one, is a style sheet. And this is specified with three attribute value pairs. Rel equals style sheet, type equals text/CSS, and href with a directory to the actual .css style sheet that you want to link in. So when you're writing in CSS to style your HTML, you're going to write it generally in a separate document, a .css file, and that is going to be linked to your HTML via this link tag. Link can also be used to link other kinds of external documents, such as a favicon, which is specified through a rel of icon, and a type of image/PNG. There's other types as well, but generally this is set up as a PNG file, and this works with most current browsers, and another href pointing to that PNG file. And a favicon is what you see display in the tab of a browser window. It doesn't display in the main part of the browser window, but it displays up by the name of the site in the browser tab. And that can be customized with this link element right here. And the only other thing you need to know is that you should generally size this either 16 pixels by 16 pixels or 32 pixels by 32 pixels. The next Head tag you need to know is base, and base is going to specify the root directory for your site. So if you want your site to, all relative links within your site to start from google.com, then you're going to specify a base with an href of that URL. You're not going to want that, however, so you would specify whatever base you want as the root directory by which all relative links go off of. You can also set a target equals attribute here, and then set a value to change how all links will behave in terms of opening within the same window, opening in a new tab, etc. There are also two elements that can go in the head that will contain additional code, and these, unlike the other ones, are actually binary ones instead of unary, and they are style and script. And style is where you would put any CSS code that you want to embed directly on the page. Generally, you're not going to write CSS directly on the page. Instead, you're going to link in a separate CSS document, but there are some scenarios in which writing directly on the page is a good idea, in which case using the style open tag and the style close tag, and then putting your CSS code right inside those two tags is a good idea. Same thing with script, but this is used for running any kind of script, such as JavaScript, directly on your page. Finally, all sites need what is referred to as the title, and this is the last thing that you'll see in the head. And generally, the head follows this order of meta, link, base, style, script, and title. This is just the conventional order of it. And the title is what will display in the browser tab. It's also the text that will display in search engine results at the very top of the search engine result. And so this needs to be a very descriptive kind of thing. It should contain the name of the page as well as the overall name of the site. So for instance, if you're doing a site on dog washing, and you also want to say this is a page for your pricing, you might do dog washing : pricing. You can also do things like a hyphen or a vertical line. You'll see these kinds of marks of various kinds in the titles of sites. But this is incredibly important, and you need to make sure it's descriptive and that you add it to every single page that you have, because the title is a really key component. So the ones that you're really going to need to know, just as a quick refresher here, meta char set, meta name equals description with the content of your description, links for style sheets, links for favicons, and title. The other ones are something you might use in particular scenarios, such as the base or the style or the script, but these are the core ones that you should have in pretty much every head. And once you get down how to create these, you can just kind of copy and paste them for every single page from there on out, so that you have a consistent head between all of your HTML pages. That about covers the head. The next video is going to cover structuring the body. Thanks for watching.